So we're going to have a fireside panel called The New Shape of India. By way of brief introduction to myself, I lead the global effort at RBC Capital Markets on communications infrastructure. Very pleased to introduce Bimal Dayal, CEO of Indus Towers. He's a veteran of these tower exchange events. And I think what I'd like you to do, Bimal, is just provide a little bit of a way of introduction and commentary on many of the major developments that have taken place since we last met in Singapore in late 2019. So welcome, and over to you for a brief introduction.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Team Tower Exchange, for inviting me. If I go back in time, I don't think I've missed any one of the Tower Exchange events, because I think it gives all of us an opportunity to meet the fraternity, and this fraternity over a period has grown, and thanks to Tower Exchange as well. So thanks, John, for inviting. Oh yeah, there is a lot which has happened since we met during the December of last year. I remember we were, as an industry, looking up or were bogged down by some of the AGR issues at that time. They were really looking to be intimidating at that time. I think as an industry, the overhang of AGR at this moment is certainly behind us. The Honorable Supreme Court came forward and gave which I believe has been a good decision to spread the dues of mobile network operators over a period of 10 years. I do believe that since then there have been some historic losses which the mobile network operators have announced as well. But good news is all this is certainly behind us. As an industry in India, I think we are certainly now looking at three robust mobile network players, with one player being the government-aided player. So it's a good setup right now. Also, I'm very pleased to state here that the tariffs have started to go up as well, which was a primary cause of the situation which the mobile networks operators were in as well. With tariffs going up, the operators have started to certainly look at things which they do best, is to provide really the connectivity and compete in the marketplace, which I think if you know this industry well, augurs so good for all of us as well, that we are business as usual. And so this is one point which I certainly wanted to start with. The second point is something which is the pandemic. March 19th we went into a lockdown, and I think this was absolutely unprecedented. Nobody had any clues as to what this would entail. During the lockdown, the only mode of survival was to remain connected. And I think what this industry did is to make the digital infrastructure really, really relevant for pretty much everyone, the society as well. What our brave hearts on ground did, I think, is commendable. When everybody was in a lockdown mode, I think our brave hearts not only made sure that this connectivity is up and running, I think not a single site, not a single place in India was left out as well from this connectivity. This industry was placed next to healthcare industry in making sure that nations, I would say, survive because of things like what we provided as well. There are multiple impacts of this pandemic, and I'll possibly touch upon those briefly as well. The demand for the towers started to come from the unconnected areas as well. If you know the usual landscape where people used to resist the towers, I think the reverse started to happen, wherein people started to demand towers because only way to survive was to provide a good connectivity. Children started to learn, the education started to be delivered, entertainment started to get delivered through networks as well, and also it made our digital infrastructure industry as much more relevant as well. So demand for towers started to come from the unconnected. The traffic also got skewed, which essentially means commercial area traffic, the timing of the traffic, etc. changed. And I think work from home also brought in some kind of network transformation as well, which we provided along with the mobile network operators. Now, there is something which we also wanted to talk about is the smart cities. Now, smart cities started to become one of the means or a tool for the municipalities to monitor situation under pandemic. So some of the surveillance things which we provided along with our smart cities started to come under use as well, which was very, very heartening to note as well. While we were in lockdown, we were hit by storms. There were two major storms which hit us. One was Amphan and second was Nivar, forcing us to redefine our BCPs as well. And I think this is a very, very significant thing for providers like us as well. I think this pandemic has definitely taught us efficient ways of and brought forward the social relevance of this industry as well. Now, with education, with healthcare, corporate, practically all businesses going digital, COVID tracking, Arogya Setu, which I'm not sure everybody is aware of it. This is a mobile application which was launched, which is Bluetooth based to tell people about the whether they are coming in proximity of a COVID patient. All this, including the e-payments, the entertainment consumption, all of it was being delivered or started to be delivered through the mobile networks, which we were kind of proudly maintaining and making sure they don't go down as well. Hence, the industry came out very, very relevant, and a lot of enthusiasm around the industry grew as well. So this is the second thing which I would like to bring up as well. It has changed the face of what we did. Third, I will just make a quick statement that we have been in the merger condition for quite a long period of time. We had launched our merger scheme in 2018. And during this lockdown itself, we have consummated the merger, thereby creating one of the largest digital infrastructure companies as well. And we are extremely happy about this consummation of the merger as well. Now, let me summarize these three, I would say, groundbreaking things, as a nation, not only as a nation, as an industry. We were facing issues on one side which were threatening, which is AGR, which second was the lockdown, which is this pandemic. I think we handled it very well. And one thing which I would like to say is, and one word, it is confidence. And second is progressive. So as an industry, as a nation, I think we came out both confident and progressive out of this as well. And I think what is ahead of us is some exciting work which we need to do together as well. So true to the topic of this conversation, I think this is certainly a changing face of the nation towards being confident and progressive. Over to you, John. Thanks.
Well, that's a very good overview, touching on a lot of topics. Obviously, a very active year around tariffs, AGR, COVID, M&A you touched on, and maybe for the benefit of those that haven't followed the merger between Indus and Bharti Infratel closely, explain briefly some of the motivations and major organizational priorities that you have over the coming calendar year with that combination.
So I would touch upon the process of merger for those who've not followed this. Let me give a little bit of chronology here. We announced our merger scheme on 24th of April in the year 2018 with huge amount of enthusiasm. I think this was announced between the shareholders, which are Bharti Infratel, was at that time. So with this enthusiasm, this entire thing was brought together. However, we never envisaged that it would take so long. I think it is close to 900 plus days. I don't have the statistics here, whether it is the longest ever which any company has taken to merge as well. But I must say that on both sides, the determination to merge was definitely there as well. I think both teams held this, I would say, time together in a very good way, continued to serve the customers as they were. On 19th of November, I'm happy to report that we've sort of filed for to ROC for this merger. As we speak, this company is called RT Infratel, soon to be Infratel. The name change application has also been filed as well. What we have created is a world-class company with company which is one of the largest in the world with the dominating scale and footprint. Now, just to give you a few numbers as well, now we have close to 169,000 towers, north of 311,000 tenancies with a revenue of roughly $3.45 billion as well. I think we always had a scale, but now we've got the entire pan-India footprint, and we are a listed company. There is a whole lot of excitement around this aspect as well. There is some more things which I would like to touch upon with this company is now gotten into and providing. I think we are proudly boasting of 4 smart cities as well, and I don't think there is any company I know of can provide a number which is equal to 4 smart cities as well. And I think we remain committed and we remain enthusiastic about increasing this number as well. Some of the things which this company is achieved or so far or is being tagged is, if you remember, within this Tower Exchange Forum, I spoke about being a Deming Prize winning company with the company which has been rated as the best employer in telecom by ET, Economic Times of India, Gallup Best Place to Work award 7 times in a row as well, and I think twice GSMA awards have been given to Indus Towers as well, and Aeon Best Employer Award as well. So I think there is huge amount of legacy which we have, huge amount of enthusiasm and a scale which this company can boast for. All we can do is continue to build on our strengths, the scale, and obviously the momentum which and the tailwinds which are being provided by, I would say, momentum which I spoke of, settling down of AGR, pandemic which has shown us greater efficiencies and made the industry relevant as well. I think it's fairly straightforward for us.
So with all the opportunity ahead that you kind of outlined as a result, or in the wake of the merger, successfully having kind of dealt with the pandemic, what would be your view on how industry stakeholders can help in forwarding the progress of digital infrastructure investment in India?
Well, let me put it this way: that the tailwinds are very much there right now. As a matter of fact, today, Honorable Prime Minister spoke at IMC as well, and I think spoke of this relevance of digital infrastructure. And I'm really proud to be a part of the infrastructure providers as well, along with my entire team as well. I think the stakeholders have done a lot as well, but there is always a lot which remains to be done, which is the exciting part about this industry. I think I do speak on behalf of this company that we have a capability to do more, much more than what we are addressing right now. There was a beautiful document which was released, which is the National Digital Communication Plan, which actually envisaged India to be in 3 segments: the Connect India, Propel India, and Secure India. And I think it was a great document which positioned India, got all the milestones in as well. And I think there it was very clearly stated that sharing is something which is of national interest and will be an enabler for future in the country, and anything that can be shared should be shared as well. I think one of the key things which we need to see now is that NDCP starts to see the light of the day as well, and starts to become really executable as well. Besides this, I think we have all the chips in the right place to possibly see a huge amount of acceleration within this country as well. I pretty much stay excited about it.
Related to that, and you kind of hit on this when you mentioned smart cities, maybe combining that with 5G, but on some of these ancillary opportunities around network architectures, obviously these involve not only towers, but also fiber, small cells, distributed antenna systems, and other tools. What do you see as Indus's role here, and how do you see the ecosystem developing more broadly? And that's probably going to be our last question. We are running a little bit short of time, but we'd love to get your perspective.
John, I think if you look at in time, I have been a solid proponent that this industry can and should be doing much more than the business as usual, which we've been doing, on the tower side as well, because these are locations to be monetized as well. Let me give you some statistics around some of the opportunities which you just mentioned. There was an EY report which actually placed these opportunities into three segments. One was the adjacencies. Second is the monetizing of the assets, and third is the new technologies as well. And I think in adjacencies you did mention about fiber, FTTX, small cells, Wi-Fi, IoT, smart cities, data centers, etc., etc. I think on the monetizing assets, it was the EV charging, advertisement, field maintenance, edge computing, and newer technologies were more like a shared infrastructure from both the active and passive as well. I think the interesting part is what is this market and how big this is. And I'm just quoting the numbers from EY report. Just on small cell, the addressable market in 2023 is going to be 70 billion. Wi-Fi IBS is going to be 50 million, and edge computing 40 billion, and data centers 135 billion in 2023. A total opportunity only on these four would be 310 billion for tower companies to address. Of course, there will be a percentage which the tower companies would address, and I think it's huge. Also, with today's clarion call from the Honorable Prime Minister on 5G as well, with 5G coming in on a higher spectrum, we definitely will see a higher rollout of small cells as well. I think we certainly remain committed and enthusiastic about small cells. If you actually look at, we have grown our portfolio of small cells in 4G. Just as an estimation, in 5G, you will probably need 5 to 10 times more small cells than we needed in 4G. Hence, I do believe that there is huge amount of potential in these adjacencies, in these monetizing assets, and the newer technologies as well. And I do believe that our companies or digital infrastructure providers like ourselves will play and started to play a major role as well. So I do believe that we will see an acceleration and a growth in these areas. Over to you, Doug.
Great. Well, I think that's a great way to end it. We covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, and it'll be. I'll very much look forward to getting together in person at the next Tower Exchange event. I think it'll be hard pressed to have quite as much change in the coming year as we had over the past year. But you touched on quite a number of topics around innovation that I think your company will play a role in.
If I'm allowed to make a closing statement here,
please.
For 30 seconds. So, firstly, I think I would certainly like to thank the entire field force and colleagues from the industry who've done the unthinkable during this testing time. I do believe that they all deserve a big applause as well. I think I do want to quote the Honorable Prime Minister in today's speech. In his own words, he's saying that it is due to your innovation and efforts that the world was functional despite the pandemic. I think it's a very big, bold statement, acknowledgement of this industry as well. And all this augurs very well for all of us as well. Over to you, John. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. And I'm very happy as always to be part of Tower Exchange and furthering the cause of this industry. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'm going to hand it back to Laura and the other moderators.
Thank you.
No, just a final thanks from our side for both of you joining and for everybody tuning in. And obviously, I know Bimal, there's various people from the industry team are on the platform. So I think if there are any questions from towards the company, there's plenty of people that everybody can reach out to as well. So thanks to both of you for joining, and we will call it an end to the session.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.